morning from Shining Star Waldorf School. We opened in 2003 and we have children in our school from preschool to grade 7. And my name's Marcia Johnson. And I'm one of the founding teachers and been teaching in Waldorf schools for about 25 years. And I'd like to talk today about constructing a home curriculum. I've spent a lot of time helping Waldorf homeschooling families. I had a website for a long time called Waldorf Home Educators. That was on Yahoo, and they shut that down last year, and I saved most of my files, but there were hundreds, dozens of files that were free for homeschoolers to use. So I have some experience with helping homeschoolers to use Waldorf at home, and I used to, 7 years, I had a summer conference too. So this conversation today is about how to construct yourself a curriculum. People are writing saying, where can I get a curriculum? Well, you don't really need a curriculum. You don't need to purchase a curriculum. It's something that you can do, and that's what I call a prepared lesson, that someone else has created. You can do that. But what else can you do? Because families, right now I'm teaching a grade 4 and 5 mixed, so the kids are from 9 to 11 years old, and that's kind of the age group I'm going to speak about today, from about 9 years old to maybe about 14. That age group. So people with middle school, younger kind of tweeny kids who are probably already reading pretty well and who need something to do during the day, not content to just play with toys, and you want something going on. A lot of families are working from home right now, so the parents are trying to get work done, and the kids are like, what do I do? What am I supposed to be doing here? So I'm going to suggest something to you that you can do every day, and it's something that's really easy to do and something that's very educational and developmental, and that's actually doing some what we might call a reading club or a reading class. So the family, maybe just even one adult and the child, can pick a book, and you can spend part of the day reading the book separately, or you can read it together. You can take turns reading a page aloud, then the other person reads a page. If you've got a couple of kids in that age group and a couple of parents, you can do this in the evening even. You can sit around and spend about 30 minutes reading aloud to each other and make your way through a book in this way. And then after we sleep on the book or we get some time to think about it, generally speaking, in Waldorf, we would let that happen overnight. But you come back and you are going to discuss this book. You're going to discuss what happened, what you remember, any particular image that stands out that someone remembers. You can do some historical lessons depending on what's in the part that you read. You can bring vocabulary. You can make a list, get a blackboard, get a piece of paper, write down words that they don't recognize maybe, and then the next day you can look them up in the dictionary and define them, discuss what they mean. You can talk about social times and changes and cultures and rules and progress, and Little House on the Prairie is full of fairly old-fashioned, strange behaviors and concepts, for example, and you can discuss how things have changed. How things have changed, social points of view, your personal point of view, and these discussions can be really interesting. You can do this in a number of ways. You can bring it up. You can write some questions on slips of paper and put it in a basket and draw one out at a time. You can take turns with the different people in your family leading the discussion and whatever they want to do. You can take a day and just make pictures, draw pictures of what you read, images, an impression. You can create a little comic strip out of the major episodes. You can create a family graphic novel, a little thing you're making of the book. I'm going to show you just around your house. You probably have a number of books, mostly classics, that you would like your children to read. There are certain books that just you don't want your children to miss, and this is the perfect opportunity to make a reading club. During your discussions, you can also make a pot of tea, nice mint tea with honey, some crackers, a snack. You can make this a very enjoyable book club feeling, and you don't have to do it every day. You can do a reading, and then you can once a week have the club to discuss what happened in the book. I just grabbed some books off my shelves in my home library. Here's a classic, this is something that just full of implications for life. Here's another one, some of my own. These are amazing, and kids love mysteries, and they love to read. Make sure you find the right. Here's another amazing volume. Yeah, these are all really worthy reads, and both boys and girls, and those who go by other genders, love these classic volumes. Here's another one. Think back to your own childhood. You can certainly find on the internet the list of the 100 most influential books. An older student here, a fascinating book. It doesn't matter how old the literature, because it's always full of implications for our current times. And it wasn't very long ago where people, basically, this is the way they learned. They read books, they discussed it, they enlarged their vocabulary, they talked about it with their families. It's just recently we've gotten into worksheets and computerized programs, and education is learning, absorbing, and when we read, we can really take in information in a hurry, and it forms in our minds impressions and thoughts. And if we allow and build a space for those thoughts to be discussed amongst a fairly nice group of people, open-minded to things that might be said, you'll have the opportunity to learn more about your children in a way that you wouldn't otherwise, and you will see how their young minds are working and formulating. And I hope that this would be a very enjoyable activity for you. I'm always happy to share more ideas on how to bring this about. You can certainly create a family book club roster, so you write down each book you finish, who read it. You do 10 books, you give yourself a little special treat, whatever you can make up at home while you're being quarantined. It's interesting times, but there's always something wonderful to be made when you have somebody else around. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't purchase a curriculum. I would create some curriculum in your homes that meet your needs and your family's needs. And littler kids like to sit around and listen to these stories too. So it can be a wonderful time. I hope this is helpful. Good luck. And send me an email at mrs.johnson@shiningstarschool.com and let me know how these ideas have worked out for you. Thanks, and thank you so much for watching.